What's good, guys? Welcome back to a trade recap. Haven't done that in a long time, but here we are again. So first of all, I'm going to give you guys an high time frame overview and an outlook at the moment, and then we're going to go deeper into the low time frame entry criteria and everything. But starting on the high time frame, the most important thing we need to look at is the monthly period 3. As you guys can see here, I'll mark it out for you guys. We have no manipulation. I'm gonna delete it real quick. We have no manipulation higher. And that is a big indication that the expansion lower is just a manipulation for the period 3, and that works on all of the period 3s, on yearly, monthly, weekly, daily, 15-minute, 5-minute, even on the 1 minute. And that's just how our period 3 are built. It does not mean that is 100% the manipulation, which could be is that we have everything up here, and that is just then the expansion, and all of the manipulation happens up here, which was not the case in this scenario. And so what we need to think about, that this expansion lower is most likely our manipulation for the month. And how can we know like when an expansion or manipulation ends? Obviously with an SSMT. As you guys can see here, we created a monthly cycle SSMT at the low, and right after creating that, to confirm it, we made an 4-hour CSD. So here you could have already been looking for longs, which most of you probably did, which is good. But for today, for the trade recap of today, we need to think about what will happen today in the span of 4 hours since after market open. And what we can clearly see is we retraced into the 4-hour CSD, created a monthly cycle SSMT on the high time frame. And what can we expect after that? Obviously just expansion higher again to this high, this high, this high, and to all-time highs. Will that happen everything in this month? Maybe. I don't know. You don't need to predict it. You just need to adapt to the market conditions. If the market conditions show like big expansion higher, we can expect all-time highs to get taken out. We'll see. But coming down to a bit of a lower time frame, to the weekly time frame, we can see that I'm going to open my indicator real quick. We can see that the same thing that happened on the monthly time frame happened on the weekly time frame again, which is quite convenient because as we can see, the weekly period 3 opens right here, and we had no real manipulation here. We had a small one. We also created a weekly cycle at the highs, though we had no manipulation on the Q above previous day high, which can just indicate as well, same thing as on the monthly time frame, as I already said, that the expansion lower will be the manipulation for this week. We created a weekly cycle, the low, and the daily period 3 opens. We manipulated lower, updated the monthly cycle SSMT, and same thing here again. We made an 4-hour CSD, 1-hour CSD, I'm sorry. And to give you even more conviction, if we go to the 4-hour chart, the 6 a.m. candle also made an 4-hour CSD. You can call that continuation CSD or normal CSD, I don't really care. Just it indicates that we broke structure to the upside again and are looking to expand higher again. Same thing as we did here. Though what happened here, the CSD was created with an expansion this week, and then we retraced and expanded again. Same thing, I wanted to see the same thing again. We created the 4-hour CSD, retraced into it, and here I was looking, okay, I want to expand higher again. Dropping to then now even lower time frame, the 50 minutes, we can see, as I said again, the daily period 3 manipulated lower, the monthly cycle updated that, and then created a daily cycle SSMT at the lows. Now, like a very important thing we need to look at is the news event we had. That was the 8:30 CPI, and here is the low, and here was the high. Give me a second. Okay, so as you guys can see, 1 minute after the data candle closes, we sweep the high, so that is not a data high anymore. Of course, this is still like a good zone, a liquidity zone where you want to trade to, but it does not need to get taken out pre-market or like while the market open manipulation happens. Other than that, the 8:30 a.m. low still needed to be taken out. Whilst that, the candle wasn't swept right after the creation. As you can see as I said, on the high, we swept it 1 minute after the candle closes, and here we did not. So for market open, which, alright, I'm going to open my indicator again. For market open, which was here, second, here at 9:30, I wanted to see the data low get taken. Simple as that. And here is the same thing again as on the monthly time frame, on the weekly time frame, now on the 9:30 PO3, on the 30-minute time frame. That's what I'm gonna say now. Is we had no real manipulation higher. We had straight expansion lower, which was then followed by accumulation. But like, what can we know of that? It is just that yeah, that the expansion lower is again just a manipulation for price to come higher again. And yeah, price did manipulate, so I didn't touch anything before the data low got taken. That was pretty obviously to me. And after it did, I'm going to switch to my topset X now. After it did hit that, we created a microcycle, but I still wasn't really interested in taking long. We had a 15-minute SMTF here, so we had everything. 50-minute is important. Why? Because we were expanding off of the daily cycle SSMT. So we had everything for like strategic entry criteria, so we could have taken a long, but I did not. Now it is a bit of just discretion. I didn't take anything because the Fed chairman was speaking and he was late. It should have started at 10 a.m. here, but like he was late and I didn't want to trade right when he was coming into the room and everything. That was just a too risky move for me, so I waited again. And another factor is my standard deviations level, so -1 to -1.5 still wasn't hit. It was down here. What was convenient as well, the previous 90-minute low was inside of the -1 to -1.5 area. So I was looking for a smart money reversal in here, which we then got. So we expanded lower after a new reaccumulation, put in a new microcycle again, and put in a few crack in correlations on the low time frame inside of the -1 to -1.5 while turtle swooping the previous 90-minute low. I was looking for an entry here but did not take anything. Again, a big part of that was the news and I just didn't want to risk it. Now in the back of my mind, like if I think about it, I could have taken a trade, but it doesn't matter. I didn't like any, no, you don't need to think about the past too much. But yeah, I just didn't, just because maybe even a bit hesitant, but who knows. So the whole expansion here was pretty good, was a really good sign of, okay, we're going to start pumping higher now. And what I wanted to see is like a redistribution, because if you have noticed, we are inside of an market maker buy model on the low time frame. We are as well on the high time frame, but for my entry criteria, we were on the low time frame market maker buy model. As you guys can see, we had our accumulation, then our reaccumulation, where you could have taken an entry, which I didn't, as I said, because of the news, and then the smart money reversal with the 90-minute SSMT inside of my range. Then, after sweeping the reaccumulation highs, I wanted to see a redistribution, which we had at like these downward candle. I'm going to show it on the lower time frame. Here, after we had the redistribution inside the 1 minute, we had in a 1 minute SMTF. I entered after the 15-second CSD. I think I entered a bit before, just because I think I entered here on the continuation 15-second CSD, because I wanted to have a good risk to reward and I was sure they were going to do the 15-second CSD. But right after a random news spike, I went break even, because news are known to be bought back really quick, and I'm glad I did, because I saved my accounts not my account, sorry. I saved a few losses, a few bucks, and I would have probably gone break even at this high as well. So that was just a normal break even. And then after resweeping this low, so going to the 1 minute again, then after resweeping this low and making a turtle soup of this low, still holding the SMTF, I was sure, okay, like this time, like it's the same thing, I'm just going to enter again because it's my model, nothing has changed. That was a random news spike, which then break even me, but like nothing changed, my model is still there, vice versa. So I entered again, and that trade took take profit. I could have taken full take profit at the market maker buy model high. I didn't, just because 10 a.m. open looked very, very good for me for another redistribution, and the second redistribution could have easily break even me, and I don't want to risk that. But luckily a random news spike again TP'd me and would have also, yeah, it swept out the market maker by high again. So that was pretty good, but even without the news spike, I'm extremely sure I would have gotten full take profit, because as we can see, we're still expanding higher. That is for the low time frame entry criteria and everything. Now I'm going to go more in depth into what I said earlier. So I want you guys to pay attention. And I'm going to mark that out here again. That is the 15-minute candle open. What do you guys see here? It's simple. It's the same thing on multiple time frame. On the monthly time frame, which I already showed you, we had no manipulation after opening the Pure 3. On the weekly time frame, it's pretty much the same thing. On the 10 a.m. open, now first of all, on the 9:30 a.m. open, no real manipulation above, not just no real, so we had no manipulation above on a Q. That indicates that this thing is a manipulation lower, so then sweep that again afterwards, or maybe even in New York PM. Same thing on the 10 a.m. open, which is another key Pure 3 open. No manipulation higher, which indicates that this is a manipulation. Vice versa, I don't need to tell you guys the same thing every time again. Same thing again on the 15-minute time frame, 15-minute Pure 3. We open no manipulation higher. So you could have easily taken an entry in the Smart Money reversal. It is so easily readable if you just stay focused and just like think about, and like if you have different charts open, one for the high time frame, okay, it's obvious that it's gonna do that. One for a mid time frame, so 50 minute, 5 minutes, 1 hour, whatever you want to call mid time frame, and then your execution on the low time frame, which I have on TopStepX. I have no accounts, I just use it as my TradingView Premium because I don't have TradingView Premium. And yeah, that I just wanted to tell you, because watch out for those things that are good indications of a possible entry. And the lower you go to your entry, the more precise you could be, but you know, the higher the time frame, the higher the probability. I'm sure you heard that a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I won the trades and took one break even previously. Previous to that, full take profit. Then if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them down below in the comments, or join my server, which I run with a friend, and feel free to ask us their questions personally. Just ask them in the general chat, some members could help you as well, or DM me them privately, feel free. So now I wish you guys to have a nice Tuesday, enjoy your day, and peace out.